Welcome, Aquarius risings. I love my Aquarius risings, and Aquarius rising actually gave me that art right there. I have a bestie that's Aquarius rising. But welcome to your 2026 year ahead. My name's Haley, otherwise known as Moon Girl, otherwise known as at my Moon Girl readings on Instagram. If y'all came from Instagram, welcome back to the new platform. If this is your first time meeting me, welcome. Feel free to join the Moon Gang. The subscribe button's right there. I also have other content on Instagram if you're wanting to learn about esoteric astrology, asteroids, just have a community to geek and freak out about astrology over. That's just what we do here. So just thank you so much for tuning in. Today's video is going to be structured. First, we're going to go over 7 major transits that are happening in 2026. We're going to check out the areas of life, aka the houses that's going to impact. Then, because everyone's charts are just that much different from the next, rulerships, degrees, aspects, all those good things, we are going to roll the astro dice with chance and probability, get a really special message for you. And then last but not least, I do have this book. This book has 365 pages in it, and my intent is to pick a page out of this book, and it has a date at the top. So I want this date to be the date that is an important or special date for you, and then that will be a guidance message. So guidance for 2026, something to remember. Other than that, I'm really excited. You guys have some big transits happening. Aquarius, like the eclipse and node stuff. Y'all have had Pluto really rocking in the Aquarius world. So let's go ahead and just get into it. So first things first, the first transit is Jupiter exiting Cancer. So that being said, Jupiter has been going through your guys' 6th house. Now, the 6th house is the house of health. It is the house of work. It is the house of our day-to-day reality, our day-to-day routines, productivity. It also can rule, the shadow is kind of like any health complications, or perhaps even with the 6th house, like burnout, things like that. So we have this house that's been getting expanded upon. When we have Cancer in the 6th house, whatever house we have Cancer in is really the house that we feel most nurtured by. That being said, our day-to-day life, how our day is structured, and making time for nurturing throughout our day is going to be the main theme. Not only that it was for the second half of 2025 in regards to Jupiter, it's also going to continue to be that main theme with Jupiter until halfway through 2026. So there could have been job changes, job opportunities. There could have been health changes, health opportunities, whether that is our diet, the gym, getting enough sunlight, looking into supplements, getting blood work done. This can be anything in regards to health, wellness, and also, again, our productivity. So we could have been kind of trying different things around what time that we wake up, what we're filling our day with, what routines really support us, make us feel good, like what is going to nurture us, and making sure that we really pour into those things that nurture us, and at least have that once a day. Like, for example, let's say that you work a job that is a great job opportunity for you, right? But the schedule is really demanding. And it's like, okay, I really love meal prepping, like just the night before, just because I love having my favorite sweet treat, my favorite snack, my favorite meal just ready on standby at work. Or this could be making sure that we go to the gym, or that we wake up our body softer, right? Like whatever's really going to be that thing where we go, yes, that feeds me, that nurtures me, that's an energy giver, that's comforting to me. This as well. This can also be our room, because Cancer does rule over like the bedroom and like room, kind of like our private hideaway. So our room and kind of the reality that, when we kind of, I'm a big believer that when we walk through doors, they're portals. And so Cancer ruling over the crab shell, right? It's like the room is just with Cancer, like as a Cancer, this is something too that like can really help our day to day, like kind of feng shui or putting things up that are like memory or just memory based or inspirational or just fun. Can really be a source of comfort as well. So on the opposite end, we do have, this can also be promotions at work, and it's not finished yet. So if there's anything that you are wanting to experience, or there's more to learn within this area of life, there's more opportunity, there's more luck that is going to be here within the sixth house. And it's a really, really great time to try things. Jupiter is a learn by doing. Then we have the opposite, the 12th house, which this is like our mental health. This is our emotional health. This is our spiritual health. So things like therapy, meditation, things like that are important when it comes to 12th house placements. This is also like an introspection period, so it could feel like the balance between the introspective periods and our alone time and our bandwidth, our energies being preserved, and then on the other hand, what we do produce, what we do want to go after, what our day looks like, that's the other axis. So then Jupiter, the second transit's going to be moving into Leo. So Jupiter is going to enter your guys' seventh house. So the seventh house is the house of, like, it's after the sixth house, right? So if the sixth house is like us individually kind of seeing what we would like our day to look like and what we like, just us, right? Virgo is a very sovereign energy. This is what I like. This is the tea I like to drink. This is what time I like to wake up. This is how I like to do things, the order of operations on this side. Then the seventh house is bringing somebody into the picture with that. And that could be a friend. Like, okay, this friend lives a lifestyle that I want to live. Like, this is now where Jupiter's expanding upon like the 5 people that we surround ourselves most with, right? That starts to become a big theme with Libra, 7th house, Jupiter moving through there, is really, who do I want in my life? What type of person's my person? What type of person's my people? So this can be like a best friend, a platonic connection. This can be, people at work, coworkers that we tend to stick to, or, people that we meet that we may want to delve into an endeavor with them or collaborate with them. Or this can be partners. This can be prospective partners. This can be a marriage partner. This can be our partner, right? And this can be family members as well, like. And it's something where we have Jupiter moving through the 7th house where, we are learned by doing through our relationships a lot, like our connections with people. We may feel like we want to try things and see what works. So just like we were doing for the 6th house, that is also something that, for the 7th house, it could be like, all right, like, I really am going through something privately. Like, who's my go-to person for this? Like, let's kind of try and see who I tell and like who responds, who's just there for me. Like, it's okay to try out dynamics with different people and see where different people are fitting in your life at this point in your life. And this is also like going into, and a lot of this happens, I guess, without, like, now we're paying attention to it because Jupiter zooms out. We may not have cared or even noticed or saw consciously, oh, okay, I need to work on this aspect of my connection with this person, right? Like I want to become a better friend. I want to respond quicker and faster, or I would like to not talk to my family as much about my personal life, or however we want to adjust, just so that, our relationships are set up for success. We want to do that, right? And so some people say that their relationship with their parents is best when they are not living with them, for example. Different things, right? So we're kind of moving along there. And then also the seventh house is just personal success, like what we desire our lifestyle to look like. Do we want to world travel? Do we want to go to concerts a lot? Do we want to, be a stay-at-home wife? Do we want to own our own bake side hustle mini cart, like, and it's kind of like these plans of, what's going to bring me the most amount of joy in terms of my lifestyle, and who's going to be along for that ride. And we are getting a peek into our future of who is best for us. So if there are people that are coming back around again that you haven't seen in a while, or little traditions that y'all used to do within certain connections with people, experiencing things that you just loved to experience with others, all of that could be coming back. And so if you love raving and you have not gone to a rave in a while, this could be the time when you do so. If you have used to love playing instruments and now somebody has like a set of drums and guitar at their place, then we're seeing kind of like the past wrap up or like come back in the ways that it always was meant to, with like new it's kind of like rearranging, but also implementing the new, and that's going to give us insight into the future of what's best for us. And then also wrapping up things that were tangible, things that were worth it, things that were nurturing us, things that gave us balance, things that made us feel good from previous years, from previous connections and things like that. So we could just really be thinking about our previous relationships and moving through a lot of that too, how we want to structure a relationship, whether this is marriage, engagement, moving in with somebody, allowing somebody into our life again, like if we've been single for a while. This is just different experiences with relationships, and clearly defining how we want to run our relationship, right? What works for us doesn't always work for everybody else. Now, in tandem, this is also highlighting the first house. So obviously this comes back to, a relationship starts first with the relationship with ourselves. So the relationship with our physical body, the relationship also with our own path, and how like the balance between the path that we're heading towards and the path that we are taking with a partner or with a friend or with a roommate or with, a business partner. So different paths opening up is huge as well. If we've had any stagnancy in our relationship life, this is when things can really start to get moving. So that is what's going to be happening, and it's going to be answering the call of our heart's desires. So if we really desire to be single again, if we really desire to be in a relationship, if we really desire to meet new people, if we really desire to meet our person, if we really desire to get married, like this is when we kind of are looking at the bigger picture. Then we have, and if you also meet anybody that you are seeing as long-term potential, it's a good time to take them seriously, because they represent they're representing what's best for us in long-term relationships, in long-term commitments. Like this is somebody that we can likely commit to and build something with. I would also say just like new paths in general for yourself as well. And then we have the third transit, Saturn entering Aries. So Aries is in your guys' second house, or third house. Aries is in your guys' third house. Let me just switch this chart I'm looking at to whole sign. Okay, so Saturn moving through the third house it's going to be happening for 2 years, by the way. Saturn's going to be in Aries for 2 more years. Saturn is the disciplinary. Saturn is the planet of sobriety. Saturn is the planet of discipline. So we are really disciplining our mindset. We're really disciplining our thoughts. We're really disciplining our voice. We're really disciplining ourselves in the mental realm. We are really being sober when it comes to seeing this area of life clearly, and like what work we need to do, like what is and what is not working in the mental realm, in our expression, perhaps even in our immediate environment. And also with Saturn, we are also refining and mastering our voice, our mind, our ability to express, our mindset, our thoughts that we tend to have. This is also mentalities. This is also perspectives. This is also listening skills. This is also learning. This is also unlearning. This is, and all of this is going to essentially allow for us to project our very direct voice. Now, this is something where the ascendant is in Aquarius. A lot of the life path is going to be around directing your voice, directing your ideas, directing your what you have to say, your mind, your out of the box thinking. And in order to continue on that path and go towards the captain of our ship, it's going to a big part of this is also having Aries in the third house. And this is believing that our raw thoughts, that our raw voice, that our raw mentalities, kind of when to honor that and when to see that that is being selfish. So it's kind of like when self-interest needs to be acknowledged, and kind of refining and reshaping anything that kind of leads back to either like hyper independence, or perhaps like another shadow of Aries can be like selfishness. Another shadow of Aries can be impulse. Another aspect of Aries can also be just like just like the formative sort of energy, and not actually like following through. So in order to follow through with what we put our mind to, in order to be brave enough to speak on our thoughts, our feelings, and realize that those have importance, Aries is very raw in that way and connected to the child. And even if it's not like, doesn't make total sense, a lot of times kids will still say how they are feeling or what they're thinking, because it helps to voice that if they can do so. And then, this is also just refining any mindsets within us that no longer serve outdated perspectives, outdated beliefs. And also like, if we're already like a good listener, we already like speak very I guess like true to ourselves, then that's awesome. I think this is going to be a time where we'll be able to use that even further. So this is a great time to write a book. This is a great time to write music. This is a great time to kind of get into skills and hobbies with like our hands, or any ideas or any forms of expression. And then it's also going to in tandem be sharpening our beliefs, right? Because that ninth house, that we can expand and push our mind, like, and break free of like anything that has been holding us back mentally, into new horizons, into faith and luck and optimism and all these things again. And that's going to come from, the details of what's inside our mind. Again, unlearning, clearing out, things like that. And then Neptune entering Aries. So Neptune's going to be going into the third house too. So this is going to be a really creative cycle. Neptune's going to be there for a long time, mind you. So this is the very beginning. This is really, answering the call of independence that Aquarius rising signed up for on Earth. I think that this is a major transit that your soul knew that you were going to experience here, that's going to beautifully assist in the walking the line of our life path. And so Neptune brings this energy of I can be whoever I want, I can project whatever I want. Anything is in grasp in that way. And then Saturn, I've been telling everybody that a lot of the power that is being explored with Neptune, of this like anything can happen energy, is actually going to be able to be grounded in the next 2 years because Saturn's going to be there. So it's like Neptune it's boundless, and Saturn is like beautifully bold boundaries. So we have both. This reminds me of being in the ocean, but you have floaties on for 2 years until we're just like, we have some sort of physical thing to be able to hold on to. And so, or even, like we're walking down the stairs and then the railing is there for like 2 years. And so, we are going to develop the railings. We are going to blow up those floaties. We are going to learn the systematic mentalities and the deep-seated beliefs to open up our mind, to create boundaries, to be able to basically do anything we set our mind to, and develop a bravery here. This is also very, 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 very creative. This is going to be like, we're extraordinary in the learning department and the higher education department. We're very extraordinary in our voice and our beliefs, and we're very extraordinary in, this can also be travel, like even just like enjoying the journey, and whether that is we're actually traveling on a journey. This could be a spiritual journey. This can be an emotional journey, a mental journey, and all the wisdom we're gaining from this, right? I think is going to in tandem work with being even more bold, even more like recognizing our power, right? In a lot of ways too. And that's going to be connected to the mind, connected to the voice, connected to, yeah, I would even say like appearance wise too, like the face, the head, as Pluto's going through the first house, the physical body, the voice is going to match the upgrades that are happening with our physical body. So then we have, and we are going to be very, very intuitive too, like very intuitive, very artistic, like channeling abilities. Would not be surprised if all those came online. Then we have the nodes that are have been going through your guys' second and eighth houses. So South Node moving through the eighth house can really have us had us in 2025 getting really deep into how we think about intimacy. And really really introspecting and looking at the fine details of what is intimacy to us, what is privacy, what's my relationship with that, how am I strategically using privacy, and I want to strategically navigate intimacy like to my advantage, right? It's kind of this energy of like, I need to put myself back into a position of power. And it could have come very much from thinking about it, essentially, like thinking about it practically, thinking about things realistically, like this is the circumstance of what's happening. How do I physically help myself do that? And so this also can be exploring intense connections or sexuality, our own sexuality, or sexual encounters, very, very deep level soulmates. Like this is like when we've been merging with people sexually, with money, emotionally, mentally. And, if there's any sort of power dynamics, like, or we're navigating like, oh, balls in their court, balls in my court, like this is really when Virgo's like, okay, cut the bullshit. I want to put myself in a position of power. And this also can be with the second house being lit up by the North Node in Pisces. If there were if there was, we're this is refining our relationship with control too. With Virgo, there sometimes can be in the eighth house like a want to control a lot, right? But then in the Pisces second house, our values, one of our main values, can very much be going with the flow, that not everything's so definite, that if we release and detach, then may the highest outcome not be fully on my shoulders, and that's on faith, that's on allowing people to be who they're going to be, that is allowing for the law of least effort, that is allowing for us to save our energy, to have a healthier relationship with attachment, right? So when it comes to merging, we could have, gotten really detailed and even released, the in certain ways how we need to take control of the situation, and in what ways it's outside of our control, right? And in what ways we're going to want to see the facts, and we're going to want to communicate, and we're going to want to get clear, and then in what ways we are going to allow for, the law of least effort to have its place, and for things don't always need to be so definite, and things can be fluid and move, and that's one of our skill sets too. So balancing these two skill sets, right, that is there. The North Node and second house, we also are being exposed to money as well, like new money, a new relationship with money, a new chapter with money, a new relationship and chapter with like the material things that we own, and manifesting just in general, right? And I think too that that's a really big thing for Aquarius risings, is that their relationship with money is very spiritual. So then it's going to move into the first and seventh house. So South Node moving through the seventh house, we are going to let go of patterns emotionally a lot as well, or expose any hidden things that are going to be released, right? So subconscious things, or things that are hidden from us, or even like feelings that build up, like they're all going to be released. And eclipses, like the nodes moving through certain houses is like a personal eclipse season in that area. And with the South Node, any person that could be a time where we do actually, go through who we want in our life. Or this can also be again, very similar to Jupiter, where we're kind of saying, okay, I can trust you in this way, and I can go to you for that. And our relationship, I think, really wants to be brought into balance, by bringing up this thing like once and for all, and like really letting it go. And when I have Leo here, what I see is like more heart. Like this is actually, yes, Libra loves to negotiate, and Libra loves to have all sides win and all sides be heard. And so a lot of diplomacy will do good with a South Node moving through the seventh house. Like really thinking about the other person as well as ourselves, and how that person plays a role in our life, and will that person's life be fulfilled, and like very much accounting for the other people, right? But I think the South Node moving through the seventh house too is also going to be an energy of reuniting with like the emotionally like so fulfilling people, and like such fulfilling relationships. Like there's destiny happening within our relationships, the relationships in our life. So and removing any ego to like from our relationships with other people, in a way, in the shadow of the ego, right? So like any defense mechanisms, or it's kind of like, well, I would never do that, or I said I would never do that, or like, oh, I did think about them, but maybe they're busy, or maybe this, or maybe I shouldn't. Like Leo is such a call to just love, to just authentically go the unconditional route, like be generous, be forgiving, be kind, be very loving, without conditions, right? And so if we can't have somebody in our life in that way, where we have to, we're not being authentic anymore, if a relationship is making us, any sort of relationship or connections making us overthink or putting us out of our heart, like really into our mind or like our ego or like our whatever it is, maybe that's something where, that might have to be let go of. And if somebody is like wanting to leave our life, or the universe is kind of like, this person, we feel an urge to do so, then, or let go of a phase within within the connection, then that is meant to be let go of. So that we can honor our heart's desires, so we can make time for the people who love us more. Leo has, like, Aquarius shows us the mind and Leo shows us the heart. We can talk to a lot of different people, right? But when it comes to how we're going to love people, right, that's really up to us, of our love languages and who we share our heart to, and, the choice in that. And, what do they say? Dimes over pennies. Or it's kind of like with Leo, we want to make sure that those are close to our heart are getting prioritized, including first and foremost our own heart, our own well-being, our own happiness, right? So, and then the North Node moving through the first house is always a fun one. This one has a lot to do with rediscovering self, rediscovering identity. This is like a lot of self-help books, a lot of astrology readings, a lot of the human design, the numerology, the all of that. This also is a lot of like physical, like color analysis, like maybe even like changing our name, getting a new nickname, right? Like I got the Moon Girl. That was like something that is now part of my identity, right? If we're getting married, if we don't want our father's last name and on our name anymore, like this is a reclamation and breaking free from any restraints that have held us back, any like identities that our family may have put on us or that people do. This is where we're going to break free from that. And this is also just karmic new beginnings in general. So a lot of destinies taking place in terms of where your life is headed. So I would pay attention to the person or people or school or job or vacation or anything that's going to be popping up, because those are characters that were karmic destiny for us to meet them, right? Very, 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 very important formative year when we had the North Node and South Node moving through the first and seventh houses. It's in the angular houses. The angular houses are where the angles are. They are known as the most important houses for that reason. And then we also have Uranus entering Gemini, transit number 6. So you guys have Gemini in your guys' 5th house. This is so exciting. So Uranus has been moving through your guys' 4th house for 8 years now. And so a lot of chaos or, unpredictability or shifts or even like upgrades could have been happening within where you live for the last 8 years. Family dynamics and like breaking generational curses and trying, with the 4th house in Taurus, we want a lot of stability at home. We want stability as our foundation. We could have been trying new things and having new things and new experiences come out of nowhere, where it was calling for us to make sure that we do that, to make sure that we go to the therapy to solidify our psychological foundation, to ensure that we get some taste of what stability at home looks like, so that we know what that looks like in the future and what we want. We'd already done it. We may have even our stability shaken from under us, whether that's our relationships, our family, where we live, so that we can also see the importance of that. It's very much a huge upgrade overall that we are completing and finishing, right? Uranus will be wrapping up, and we could just feel a lot more secure within our being, like our nervous system, and kind of regulating that, and the journey of that, that cycle is going to be coming to a close. Unless you have your 4th house, which continues into Gemini, this cycle will very much close, having been 100% upgraded at this point in our life. So that's a graduation. Would not be surprised if, like, we're getting final details on our room, if we are really settling on where we're going to live, if we're going to be renovating a home. That could be done. This can also be pregnancy. This could also be like marriage, moving in with people, whatever changes have taken place. This could just feel like an overall just more settled and preparing us for the next step, which really is going to be having a lot of fun, like to enjoy life, like to have the light heart. I just think that there's going to be a surge of energy of just having fun, flirty. It reminds me of like flirty, 30 and thriving, just like we are wise now. We have a more stable, secure foundation within ourselves. And if you even doubt that for a second, I would really look at like how triggered we used to get, or like how much we didn't know maybe before about before we moved out and lived in these different places, or before these things happened to us at home, like how much more equipped we would be to live with somebody, to live on our own, to raise a family, what like psychology work we did, what self-help, what nervous system work we did. It's really incredible. That is something for our legacy that we were building 100%. And with Gemini, yep, this is just going to be like, maybe we're reinventing the way we have fun. We're reinventing hobbies again, and like things that we love to do. We could find a lot of will through creating again. We're going to feel very experimental. If you are into music, dance, the arts, performing, sports, quite literally anything like that, hello, this is being awakened. This house is being awakened. This also can be a very, very potent time for Aquarius risings. If you are looking fertility-wise to get pregnant, Uranus rules over chaos. And Uranus, chaos is an energy that happens around giving birth, right? And so unpredictability, never say never. Fifth house is the house of fertility, but this is also birthing new projects, birthing new creations. So we love that. Then we have Chiron entering Taurus. So Chiron moving through the fourth house. So this is going to be, I love this too. This is like, now we experience, it's kind of like, for example, let's say that I'm trying to think. Let's say like your dog is like really, really excited. It comes into your room, and then it's like there's the chaos, right? But then it's like, oh my gosh, okay, the cuddles, I got my love, and then the dog like leaves. That is like your guys' fourth house in relation to like home, family, security, nervous system, foundation, family, partners, and your domestic traditions, your domestic routines, your domestic bliss, your behind the scenes or behind closed doors quality of life, entering a healing era. This is beautiful. This is like where we can now experience more luxury. We can now experience more pleasure. We can now experience more fruitfulness and just like calmness, and more like just Taurus loves to feel good, loves to look at beautiful things, loves to enjoy the people that they're with. And really beautiful cycle that's opening up for home life, for family life. This is like family healing too, as well. This is when like any triggers that we're going to have will be brought up to be healed, especially if we're going to like live with somebody, or we're having like a new relationship behind closed doors. How is that? Because, it's very different when we're in a relationship, like on The Bachelorette, or like Love is Blind. Like you see these people like go on these vacations and just like, it's a lot of like fifth house sort of things. And then I find when like they live with each other, or like behind closed doors, or they get to like normal life, like it's very like normal life, and like we're on a training ground for like normal life. So this could be like, all right, I've never lived with a partner. Do you want to take out the trash? Do I want to do the groceries? Where do we want to live? I never thought about that. Like oh my gosh, my mom used to do that, and like that's a little triggering, but like I don't want to raise my kids like this. I, want this sort of tradition in the household. All of that sort of stuff is going to be coming up. So this also can be, of course, like luxury. And so we may be moving that, and whatever, like wherever we live, you know, whoever we live with, like, yes, nothing will ever be like perfect. Like there will definitely be times where things may get triggered, but we're going to be so glad that they did, because every time that we work through a trigger, every time that we heal, it's like that's our foundation within us, like the deepest parts within ourself. And so that's just going to create an even more prosperous, we actually gain more prosperity with that when we create more stability, more calm, more of a stable foundation. So and then the flip side is going to be with Chiron, like we could really experience so much healing and luxury and pleasure with where we live, with who we live with family, things like that. So that is all 7 transits. Now let's go ahead and take the Astro Dice and try our chance at probability and get a message for you. So my spirit guides, Aquarius rising spirit guides, please protect us as we roll these dice, and please give us a message for what the Aquarius rising collective watching may experience as a main theme in 2026, something else for them to know. Ooh, oh my gosh, we were just talking about this. Okay, so we have number 3, so the 3rd house. So the 3rd house portion about Aries and about like being able to destroy all mental obstacles, that we come across, and just being very, very powerful in our mind. Right there, I do think friendships, like nurturing friendships, because we also have Cancer. So like nurturing thoughts, nurturing friendships. I think also journaling will be really beneficial. Read what we read. It's going to be like nurturing our mind, like nurturing a more solid foundation, like all the 4th house stuff that we are talking about, right? I think having those conversations with people. And then we also have Neptune, which Neptune rules over music. Neptune rules over prayer, meditation, like spirituality, unconditional love. So I think also this year is going to be a year where we're going to have really nurturing conversations with, like, unconditionally like loving conversations with people this year. Like, and I think that that's going to come from the rawness being expressed and like what you're saying in your voice, and like people, you may just come alive vocally too. And I feel like you're going to be able to like Neptune in the 3rd house. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever looked up anybody who has Neptune aspecting Mercury, like any celebrities, but those are literally like some of the best actors, like some of the most, like people who are just mesmerizing when they speak. Like there's definitely an energy here of you being very mesmerizing when you speak. A lot of to emotional intelligence that is putting us in this more unconditional energy. Like I think with the people in our life, this could also be like if we want to take a romantic like getaway, this is also talking about that, like short distance travel. And so that could be like I view long distance travel as like you're going to the airport and like you have a layover, like you at least have one layover. If you go, and I mean, it doesn't have to be, but yeah, I've seen people describe 3rd house short distance travel as like Canada to Mexico is considered short distance. So take that as you will. This is like state to state, or, like within Europe, country to country, even like Southeast Asia, like a lot of the countries are very close together. Yeah, so that is the dice. And then, oh, again, another thing too, I think your ancestors with Cancer, 3rd house, and Neptune could be watching over you a lot. You could be connecting with your ancestors as well. So that being said, we are going to pick our date now. So what special dates? Okay, So I have April 12th for you guys, and what it says is the fear you may feel, or no, I read what, 5 words? Okay. It says the fear you feel may have you stuck not knowing what to do. Being overwhelmed with the amount of options being revealed, first house, new beginnings, you're feeling bombarded with new possibilities. This can lead you into feeling fearful to make any choices at all. Ask yourself, do you trust yourself? This is also South Node and Virgo, like wrapping up. Like I do think that Virgo can really think a lot. And then the possibilities are like endless with Pisces. Like anything is possible for you. Ask yourself, do you trust yourself? I feel like that's the 8th house. With Virgo, trusting your gut instinct. When you have formed trusting relations with self, your inner dialogue is your best navigational tool for all life matters. 3rd house in Aries, consulting with your inner oracle. You know, then where is she? And then the inner, where is she? In the mind. What were we? Is where the truth, consulting with your inner oracle is where the truth can always be found. Use this truth to take an option. It doesn't have to make absolute sense now, and you don't need to know all the details. It just needs to feel aligned with your inner intentions and desires. The rest will become clear once you have mustered the courage to take a new road. Your only failure is not trying. Overstand that fear is just an illusion. Don't be scared to live the life you asked for. It's waiting for you to align and release your fears. And the affirmation is, I trust my soul to guide me on my journey. And again, that date is April 12th. I trust my soul to guide me on my journey. Word. That is... we got to end it there, right? I mean, that was too good. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys don't want to miss any other surprise uploads, go ahead and just subscribe. And then if you want to check a rising sign for like a partner or a family member or anything like that, I have a playlist with all the other videos. And then you can also turn on the bell button if I haven't uploaded that sign yet, and you'll be notified first thing so you don't miss it. Thank you so much. Take it easy. Take care, and I'll see you guys in a later video.